Well, hello. This is going to be posted on Friday the 27th, and we're back with Landon and myself. And this is one of our shorter videos. Landon's got some stuff to share, which he has shared with me, and I was really encouraged. It fits with where we're going, what God's been speaking to us about. It's really good to see you. And Landon, over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, so Brittany and I and the girls, we had the opportunity to go to the shoe shop last weekend on Saturday, and we stayed there until I guess just got back yesterday, which was awesome. Friends of ours own a cabin there, and they said that we were welcome to use it for a few days. So we took that opportunity and got out of town and just spent some great time together as a family, which was awesome. And I think we didn't really realize how clouded our thinking was and our brains were until we kind of got away and just realized that we'd just kind of been like on information overload, and some of the simple things of life we had kind of forgotten to do, like pay attention in conversations and those common sense kind of things. But so it was just really, really awesome to have some time just away as a family, but also just some time to get up in the morning and read and pray and listen to the Lord. And it was really great. At the end of our time, we did what anyone does when they're done somewhere, is they clean up and pack up. So we spent most of the day actually cleaning up and packing up from being there. And near the end of our time, getting close to the end of our time of cleaning, Brittany said the thing that every husband wants to hear. I can't find my wedding ring. So it's like, sweet, that's great. So we as a husband, I asked the logical question, which is, where did you have it last? Like, that makes sense, but apparently that's not always the best question to ask. But that's the question I asked, and she wasn't entirely sure, but we both had a vague kind of recollection that she had left it on the counter next to the dishes. And the way that this kitchen was set up was on the other side of the counter. There was a big long bench, which is great because your kids can kind of be part of the kitchen. They feel like they can stand up there and look into the kitchen and be part of what's going on. So there was, right next to the bench kind of area on the counter was where we'd both kind of remembered her putting her ring. So we assumed that either myself or herself at some point had kind of picked it up, not thinking what we were doing, and put it somewhere. So we spent about half an hour looking through every pocket, looking through purses and bags and backpacks and everywhere that we thought, drawers in the room, everywhere that we thought that we would have put it, and we couldn't find it anywhere. So we did what you do when you're desperate. You ask your 3.5-year-old if they by any chance had seen the ring anywhere. And Eleanor reassured us that she had not taken the ring, which was great news. But then we asked her another question: did you by any chance see Josie, our 1.5-year-old, take the ring? To which she said, yeah, actually, I saw Josie take it off of the counter. So then we said, did you see where she took it? And she said, Eleanor told us that Josie then got down from the counter, or from the bench that overlooked the counter, and that was all that she remembered. So that was, all of a sudden we went from searching in the very obvious places to the not so obvious places, like in the vents in the floor and in cracks and crevices and under stuff and everywhere, in the toilet, in the bath, everywhere that we could imagine our 1.5-year-old thinking was a good idea to put the ring. And we searched for about another half an hour and had zero luck. And we were at that point where we were kind of assuming that we were just going to have to tell our friends that we had lost the ring, and if they ever found it at their place, that would be great. But anyway, so then we'd been praying kind of along the way, obviously just asking God to help us, but Brittany then, while I was searching in another area of the house, she did something that was, I think, a great idea. She asked God specifically where the ring was, and she just prayed and said, God, you obviously know where this ring is, and it would, be really great if you would share that with us. And immediately, and Brittany said, she told me after, she said, I don't really normally get pictures when God speaks to me. But immediately she had this picture of Josie walking to the garbage and dropping something in the garbage underneath the sink. And so Brittany handed, she ran down the stairs and shared this with me, and then handed me a pair of rubber gloves and said, go look through the garbage.
Right.
Which was awesome because the garbage wasn't actually in the garbage anymore. I had already taken it down that morning to the communal dumpster and thrown it in there. So I walked down the hill with my rubber gloves and jumped in, or leaned over into the dumpster and pulled out a few bags that weren't ours, and realized that because I didn't recognize the garbage. But then eventually found the garbage bags that were ours. And as I started looking through and picking through very carefully through all the garbage, I came across, in between a banana peel and an orange peel, there was Brittany's wedding ring sitting there. And it was almost like this kind of surreal moment where there was this doubt in my mind as I was searching, but there was also this confidence in my mind as I was searching, just believing that we would find it. And believing that God had spoken to Brittany, and that we would find it. And I think what it communicated to both of us in a really significant way was there's just so much going on in the world right now, and it would seem like God would be very much involved in bigger things right now. And yet, in the midst of all that's going on, he cared enough about Brittany's wedding ring that when Brittany asked and said, God, where is it? Can you please show me? God actually gave a specific answer, and we would have never found that ring. It would have ended up in the landfill. It wouldn't have been found by our friends later. It would have been a total waste, and nothing would have come from that. And instead, we not only found the ring, but we had this incredible faith-building experience, and have been able to share that with Christians and non-Christians since that, and are trusting that would also build faith in them. So I think the encouragement I want to give to us is that God is not overwhelmed right now by what's going on in the world. And Brittany and I were overwhelmed before we went away for a break, and we were struggling to focus, right, on some of the things that needed focus. But God's not overwhelmed, and He's able to meet us in what's going on in our lives right now. And He's able to answer our questions that we have. He's able to deal with what's going on in our hearts in a very specific and real way. And so I just want to encourage all of us that like we talked about last Sunday, we do need to take the same posture that Jesus did, and we need to sit down. And in that, we need to go to the things, the truths that we know are true about God. But we also need to sit down and listen to what He specifically wants to say to us, and ask Him questions and allow Him to speak and to search our hearts. So that's my encouragement for you guys, and I hope that testimony is just a beautiful picture of a God who is extremely personal, and who is not overwhelmed, and who is able to meet with us as we seek to draw near to Him. And so, back to you, Charlie.
Amazing story, hey? Thanks, Landon.
You're welcome.
And I'm just very happy that Brittany is happy to have a ring back. Just a neat tale. We talked earlier whether to save that up and include it in what we were being sharing on or sharing this coming Sunday, but it just seemed to be something that was a standalone article as well. God knows, He cares. So I'm going to pray, and Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, you betcha.
Father, I do thank you for this testimony. I thank you that the stories we tell about your goodness build up ourselves and build up one another.
Yeah.
This is the nature of who you are, that you are intimately concerned with everything in our lives.
Yeah.
From the smallest detail, a little ring, to the largest things.
Yeah.
And Lord, you're not just interested as a sort of theoretical, gossipy sort of thing, but you're interested because you're powerful to intervene.
Yeah.
Father, I thank you that you care for us. You know our thoughts. You know the days of our lives. You know the number of hairs on our head. Lord, I ask that you draw us, pour your grace upon us, draw us to meet with you, to talk with you, and to hear you.
Yeah.
To your great glory and to our rich benefit. Amen.
Amen.
So we'll see you Sunday.
Yeah.
And you might want to read, because we'll give you opportunity on Sunday as well, but we're looking at Hebrews chapter 10 and starting in verse 12, kind of halfway through verse 12 where it starts talking about Jesus, but verse 12 through to the end of the chapter. Hebrews 10, verse 12 through the end of the chapter. See you then.
See ya. Bye.